children, who don't believe that certain children deserve to be openly happy about who they love. And because of that, I still worry about my gay baby every single day. I worry about other people's children too. You know that with GLBT kids, unlike kids who belong to, say, racial or ethnic groups that are discriminated against, sometimes GLBT kids aren't able to be open in their own families. Their own families don't accept them. So for many of our GLBT kids, there's no safe haven, not in their own home, not in their own church, and unfortunately, too often, not in their own school. And you know the devastating demographics. You know that over 80% of GLBT kids report being verbally harassed. 40% report having been physically assaulted, and 2/3 of our kids say they don't feel safe in their own school. And that means they're at greater risk of so many things. Greater risk of hurting themselves through drug abuse, through high-risk sexual behavior, through physically hurting themselves, including suicide. These children are dying. And saving their lives cannot be just a job for you. It has to be your cause. It has to be your passion, something you get up in the morning to do. If it's not, there's the door. You should leave. Because if you are an educator today who is not willing to say, I will protect 100% of the children in my care, then you're in the wrong business. Many groups, many partners with the same cause. One of the ones I really like, because it has movie stars in it, is the Creative Coalition. These are actors and producers and directors and makeup artists and people in front of the camera and behind the camera. They work in film and theater. And they formed this group for many things, but one of the things they partner with NEA is to have strong arts programs in our public schools that are on the chopping block too often. They asked if NEA would help promote a little film called That's What I Am. It is not a blockbuster. It is not coming to a theater near you. It's more at one of those after-school specials on Lifetime, okay? That Jeremy says is, like Lifetime for women and gay men. I think that's him. That's just him. I would never say that out loud. So it's one of these after-school specials, and that was the audience they were looking for, but they were also hoping that teachers, counselors, social workers, administrators would find some way of showing this film to students in an elementary school, in a junior high, because it's a wonderful way to start a discussion about bullying. Because these days, people young and old are getting very creative about bullying. Bullying, of course, is an act of cowardice, and now you can be even greater in that cowardice because you can cyberbully. You don't even have to face the person that you're bullying, and it's very comfortable to be anonymous and write nasty things about people and put it out for all the world to see. These statistics, of course, tell us what happens when a student or an adult is terrorized. Students who are gay, students who are perceived to be gay, are inevitable targets of these cowardly bullies. This film is very powerful because it tells a story in a way that's perfectly appropriate for elementary students, and it uses a story I mean, I'm an elementary teacher. I know the power of Old Yeller and Charlotte's Web. You put it in a story, and you can talk about death. You can talk about things that would be very difficult to talk to young students about. It puts flesh on the bones of those nasty statistics. There's nothing more powerful than a story that puts a face on the truth. People, especially young people who will never read the research that you and I know so well, will watch this film and they'll find themselves in one of the 4 parts of this story: the bully, the victim, the bystander. Now, most of us think the bystander, isn't in the story. The bystander is the wallpaper, the extras. They're not really in the movie. This movie shows the bystander is maybe the most important character in this story. And then there's the role of the hero. And the hero is not some magical person in spandex, because Eric has told me that spandex is a privilege and not a right. Yes. And I understand that. But the hero is the bystander that decides not to be a bystander anymore, but to give himself a speaking role and end up in the credits. The hero is the one who, without trumpets or car chases or explosions, simply steps forward to say a brave thing. And even if the hero can't stop the bully, because that's not always possible, what is possible is when you speak up, you have now allied yourself with the victim, and you've told that victim, you are not alone, and you are not wrong, and there's nothing wrong with you, and I'm on your side. And sometimes that makes all the difference in the world. And so NEA is so proud. How many times can you say proud to be a partner with these folks in promoting this little film? It's called That's What I Am, because we don't want to be bystanders. We're proud to share the research and the lesson plans and the teacher guides that Jerry Newberry and his shop put together for free. It's just out there on a website, which he's going to tell you all about. And it's talking about why bullying cannot be tolerated, why schools have to be safe havens for every student. So you can go up to YouTube and type in That's What I Am, and watch the trailer. You can go to beastar.com, which is the Creative Coalition website, and you'll see all of the materials that you'll need. This film made me cry, but at my age, I cry at stop signs, so that's not particularly significant. I cried at the powerful voices in this little movie, because the powerful voices were the ones that didn't yell. They weren't out there with megaphones. They simply quietly said, this is not going to happen. I will not let this happen. And they said it in a conversational tone. So in this story, it's not just a face, it's a voice. It's a voice that says very little, simply put, powerful words. The teacher says to his students to inspire them to start being the people that they will be someday. He says, you just say it out loud. When you say something out loud, it has power. So say it out loud who you are. Be clear in your mind who you are. Because when you're sure in your mind who you are, you're going to start believing in yourself, and you're going to start acting like who you want to be. And after a while, you will actually be that person. So he tells his class, I'm a teacher. That's who I am. And he goes over to a little boy that loves to write, and he says, who are you? And the little boy said, I'm a writer. That's who I am. And the teacher says, then start acting like a writer. See everything around you like you're going to write about it. And then he goes to every single kid in the classroom. Who are you? Who are you? And the little girl says, I'm a singer. That's who I am. And another little boy says, I'm an athlete. That's who I am. And in another scene, when something horrible is happening to one shy little boy. One student steps forward and sticks his neck out. And the other students, his friends, go, "Are you crazy? Why would you do that?" And he says, "Because I'm a friend. That's who I am. So I'm going to act like a friend." I want to show this little film to students. I want to ask them, who are you? I want to ask them, are you a bystander? I don't say anything. That's who I am. That's who I want to be. Are you the bully? Are you the hero? Are you the victim? You know, if I could, I would rewrite the end of this movie. It has a good ending, but mine is so much better. Because it wouldn't matter if you were the bystander or the bully or the victim or the hero. I would make every one of my kids say, before I'm anything else, I'm a human being. That's who I am. So act like a human being. Act like a human being that understands that the person sitting next to me is also a human being. And that means I owe that person respect. And they owe me respect. That's who we are. And we would start acting like it. Maybe we would start to put other things, important things about who we are. Our politics, our religion, our cultures, our hopes, our fears. But we would put it in our pocket somewhere where we can grab it when we need it. It's right there. But first, before any of those things, I'm a human being. That's who I am.